Okay, welcome back. In this video, I figure I will do a separate video on this because it's the main kind of main thing that you kind of need to understand for this game is the affection system. So I'm going to be going over that briefly, as briefly as I can. And of course, as I covered in the last video, the goddess questions are the first thing in a clean file, at least, that affects the affection of the villagers. Every year, they always start at 0. And then if it's a fresh file, you have access to these questions. Crucially, if it's a New Game Plus file, when you load the file, so once you complete an ending, or if you get the bad ending, the game will ask you if you want to save. So then if you save that file, it will then be Spring 2 again. And so it will be an already saved file. It won't be a new file. And it'll say, it'll say Spring 2 on it. So then when you start that file, when you reload that file, you will be in your house on Spring 2. On Spring 2 at 6 a.m. But when you leave your house, there's no cutscene. So there's none of this. So you only get the plus 15 boost with whatever villagers on a completely fresh file where you haven't completed any endings at all. So okay, so for this let's do. Oh yeah, dang it, yeah, I kind of glossed over this in the last video, but so mashing, the best way to mash is to hold X in the English version, actually circle in the Japanese version, and unfortunately that button also clears the text. So like, I'll get actually to okay, so like this text box, for example, it's going slowly, you can see, kind of slow, but if I hold, it goes quicker. Only problem is if I keep holding, it doesn't clear the text box. So in order to go as fast as possible, you actually have to kind of know when the text box is about to end, because you need to release the button and press it again to clear it. So it's very frustrating because only one button does the speed up of the text and the clearing of the text boxes. So it's nice in the sense that you're not mashing. You don't have to keep like pressing. I hate mashing. But you do have to kind of know how long the text boxes are, so that you know when you're about, because as soon as you release the button, this text slows down again. So optimally, you literally only release the button for like 1 frame after the last character has displayed, and then press it again. So it's kind of tough. It can be kind of tough to, so yeah, so we'll just speed through this. But yeah, so that's mashing and save the homeland. It's kind of strange because I've never seen another game really that does that. So we name our farmer 1 character name, and we skip that cutscene as I pointed out. Okay, so I'll go over some basics. As you can see, you know, these 4 or 5 actually got plus 15. So that's the first thing to note. So just remember, skip this cutscene. Okay. So let's do, I don't know, let's do Lila maybe. And you know what? I'll just save a state. I'll literally just save the state over. Let's do Lila. Actually, wait a minute. Need a weed. Should have had a save state for this. Unfortunately, it might be. Hopefully this won't be too long. Get a weed? Yeah, we got a weed. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put this in our pocket. Wait. There we go. Put this in our pocket. And now we'll go to Katie. And then, yeah, this is okay. So, introductions. So I believe in 64, the game also works like this. Pick up this as well. Let's just pause it really quick. Actually, let's. Hello. Here we're gonna. Save state over slot 7. I didn't really want to delete that save file, but okay. So as you can see, so Katie is at 0. So I've highlighted Katie's affection address. So we're going to talk to Katie. And of course this is in Japanese, but this is not just any, oh no, I remember what I was saying. So yeah, so 64 does it similarly, where the first time that you talk to an NPC, it's a introduction interaction. So the boost that you get is unique. The affection boost that you get is unique from any other interaction. The very initial conversation that you have with the character. And you know, Save the Homeland is the same, so I'm gonna get through this. And this is her saying, "Oh, we've never met before. Hey, I'm Katie. Blah blah blah," and she's 16 years old. Okay, so she now has 10. 10. You know, I can't show it right now, but I'll give you a hint. That is not how much you get normally when you talk to her. In most cases, when you talk to an NPC and you've already introduced to them, in most of their locations, you're going to get a +4. And I'll show that in a bit as well. But like other Harvest Moon games, in general, there are some exceptions to this, and we do not understand the exceptions, and I can go over them later. But in general, you are only allowed 1 conversation per day and 1 gift per day. So and the key thing to remember is that the introduction counts as a conversation. The introduction is essentially the first conversation, but you get more than you would normally. And every single NPC, I have a whole paste on this. These are probably my 2 most useful pastes. Is the basic affection notes and cutscenes by ending. So basic affection notes will tell you what I linked them in the last video, but they will tell you what the goddess questions do, basically, for each of the villagers, and also some very basic information about each villager, what their intro boost is, and some basic gift boosts, from some very common items. Okay, so we've introduced ourselves to her, and now we can give her this blueberry, and as you can see, +4. Okay. Now, we also have a weed. Now, whoa, but hang on, actually. So we'll put this back, but let's say I wanted to give her another blueberry. We'll just demonstrate this. So I wanted to give her another blueberry. She said, "That's good. You already gave me one. You're kind of weird, dude. What's up with this?" No boost. Okay. Fair enough. So you do not get a boost from additional gifts in that day. And as far as I know, there are no exceptions to that. I have not found any exceptions to the gift rule. I've only found exceptions to the 1 per day conversation rule, and we'll get into that. Now the weed, though, show her a weed. She says, "What's up with this, dude? What am I to you, chop liver? You know?" -3. Now, crucially, I can show her this as many times as I want and drop her affection to 0. 0. Okay. So the weed nerf, affection nerf, or deboost, I guess, varies from villager to villager. So for Katie, it's -3. For, I don't know, let's see, Gina, you know, for Bob, it's -4 according to my paste. So it varies. Now, of course, you're not going to be using the weed for those things, but we'll get into a potential use for the weed in a minute. So let's reload this save state. Don't remember what my hotkey is, but we'll load the save state. Okay. So now what if I have a gift in my hand when I talk to them the first time? So sometimes it plays the same text, sometimes it doesn't. The text doesn't really matter. What matters is that the boost is different. So she's actually got +12 now. Now you might think, "Oh, that's great. She gets more affection, right? If I have a gift when I introduce, you know, for the initial interaction." But wait a minute. Now if I try and give her a gift, she won't take it. So if you remember just now, we did an introduction, which was 10, and a gift, which was 4. So that gave us 14. So now she's only at 12, and that's because we were holding an item or a gift the first time that we talked to her. So in my notes, you'll see this referred to as an intro or a gift intro. Gift intro means I am holding an item the first time I talk to them. Now, this is programmed separately for basically every NPC. For example, Lila's introduction is 10, just like Katie. Her gift intro is 12. So, in most cases, actually, I believe in every case where there's a distinction, the gift intro is 2 more than the regular intro. So Bob's regular intro is 12. He gets a lot from the first time you talk to him. And if you're holding a gift when you talk to him, it's 14. But now, crucially, as I mentioned, as I'm trying to point out, that extra 2 is not really worth it if you want to get the most out of that daily interaction, because the intro while you're holding a gift actually counts as also giving a gift. So it's kind of a conversation, it's kind of a conversation and a gift in one, but it's ultimately less than if you did the 2 separately. Now, a couple villagers such as Gina, not Gina, Kurt and Dia. I think those might be the only ones. Kurt and Dia gets +8 for her intro and +8 also for her gift intro. So in that case, you don't get anything more from a gift intro. So it's actually it's never worth it in that case. So in a speedrun setting, it is slower to do an intro and then a gift. However, the extra affection can save an entire trip to that NPC, depending on how the math works out. So it varies, and that's why in my notes, sometimes you'll see, and I usually specify in my notes, it'll say intro, it'll say gift intro, or it'll say intro plus gift. Intro plus gift means intro without a gift, and then give them the gift. Now, in this game, like a lot of Harvest Moon games, you have a quick menu. So if you tap L1, then it'll bring up this menu, and you can cycle through it. And so you can easily pull out. So you don't need to enter the pause menu in order to bring out a gift. So you can make it pretty quick. But okay, so we've covered that. So let me just point out something. When you give a character a gift, hang on, this damn window in the way. When you give a character a gift, they put it in their pocket. So they take it. There's a whole animation where they take it out of your hand and put it in their pocket. Okay. So this is the intro, and she's taking it. She's putting it in her pocket. So now I don't have the blueberry anymore. But crucially, when I show her the weed, if you notice, as you saw just now, I showed it to her repeatedly. So she's not taking it. And she's losing 3 every time, right? She won't take it. Okay. So, very interesting. Now this is something I found kind of early on. It's kind of just sort of a neat exploit. Okay, so I haven't introed to her now. Remember, I have not talked to Katie at all. So what happens when I use a weed as the first gift, during the introduction, right? She's saying the same thing. Oh, she's 16 years old. She didn't take it, but she got +12. So, recall, this is her gift intro boost. Her regular intro is 10, her gift intro is 12. So even though I showed her a weed, which is normally an item that she rejects and actually reduces her affection, because it was the introduction, she actually got it. She actually treated it as if it was a gift. However, from the perspective of her actually accepting the gift, she doesn't treat it as a gift, which means, as far as the game's concerned, we actually haven't given her a gift today. So now she is 16. So this is actually a larger boost, a larger daily boost than if we had done an intro plus gift. So to recap, for Katie at least, and Katie's a fairly typical example. Gift intro +12, so that means holding an item, holding an actual gift, so a blueberry, very berry, something that she will accept, is +12. Intro plus gift, so that's a regular intro with no item in your hand, and then give her a gift, is 14. And then what I call a weed intro plus gift is 16, because weed intro will give her her regular gift intro boost but it will not count as a gift. So then you're able to give her another gift. Now, these are just using the most basic items that are available. Most of the forageables, and you can see in my paste, basic affection notes, which I'll link. You can see that most of the forageables are +4 for basically all the villagers, and they did that because they wanted you to be able to actually like advance the plot with just the basic stuff that you have available to you at the very beginning of the game. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So how do we want to do this? Let me just see what other states we have. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I think I'll do this part with this state. So as you can see, this is actually the upgraded house. This is the kitchen. So in a speed run, you'll never get this because it's actually, yeah, you have the bathroom. This is the shower. Yeah, shower. Okay, I don't know what that does. I've done some testing of like fatigue and stamina, but I assume that affects your fatigue and stamina. That's something that, yeah, not really relevant, but okay. And the reason why you don't get it is because it makes this main room larger, which makes it take longer to get from the door to the bed. So in a speed run, you don't want the kitchen. We'll just walk out of here. Okay. So for some of these villagers, let's say Katie. Let's go back to Katie. That's kind of, this is kind of an easy way to test it. I think this was, okay, so I'm actually going to save state, slot 9. Okay, so yeah, okay. So again, as you saw, for the intro, she gets +10. But in this file, you can see, or in this save state, you can see she's at 41 affection. So I should have already introduced myself to her. So when I talk to her, in this case, this was me testing the cake contest ending. So she's talking about the golden milk. It doesn't matter what they're saying for the most part. As far as I know, I don't think the text is directly relevant to what the boost is. I think it's location based. So in this location, she's going to get +4. So you can see from 41 to 45, that's a +4, talking to her in this location. So so bear with me for a moment as I show something else. Actually, should have done Lila. That's faster. Okay. So we're just gonna let this play out really quick. I'm speeding it up so that we can wait for her to start walking inside. Okay, and so also as you can see, as she's pacing around, she's in her location. This is outside the cafe. So in my notes, I think that's the way I describe it. And you can see she is walking, but she's walking around in the same location. So these all count as the same exact location outside the cafe. And she'll begin to walk inside in just a second, I think at 10 a.m. Yep, and you can see now she's heading to the door. So she's walking, but she keeps walking towards the door. So I'm going to talk to her as she's walking towards the door. So I'm at 41. Now I'm at 43. Interesting. Okay. So she's got +2 from walking when I talked to her as she was walking towards the door. Okay. So that is a pretty common trend. In fact, that's pretty much a universal, except for Ronald, as far as I know, is that a character gets +2 when they're walking between locations. So this is not like Harvest Moon 64, where in order to update a character's location, you have to reload the area. They actually move between their locations in real time. And the boost varies. The boost varies by location anyway, and that's something that I can kind of demonstrate more. But when they're transitioning between those positions, those locations, they generally get +2. And like I said, that's pretty much a universal, except for Ronald. Ronald actually gets +4. The last time I tested him, I didn't test him very extensively, but he was the only one who actually got anything other than +2 when walking. So you'll see in the notes it says walking is +2, and I just wanted to emphasize, as I was trying to kind of illustrate a minute ago, she was walking around outside, you know, she's pacing kind of like this around outside the cafe. That's not what I mean by walking. When I mean walking, when I say walking, I mean walking to the next location. So so they're always, even like Parsley right here. Parsley's pacing around in his location. So it doesn't matter if I talk to him in the middle of those steps. It doesn't matter. Okay. So that's the basics of intro, gift intro, weed intro. Another thing, you know, you can do that, as far as I know, in principle. You can do the weed intro with any item that the character doesn't accept. And there's some variation on this. So like some characters will get, like, for example, like Tim. Actually, I don't know, where's Tim? Hang on. This is, now it's late in the day, it's 3 p.m. Well, actually, wait a second, I can just load this. I actually haven't tested this, so let me actually see what this does. So I'll grab, actually I already have a flower anyway, but okay, we'll just grab this. Do I have, is Tim, oh no, Tim's at 0, okay. So yeah, so some characters will get a +0 for a gift, and among the +0s, it seems to vary. Some of them will accept it and take it off your hands, and some of them will refuse it, so it'll stay in your hands. And so as far as I know, save. As far as I know, wait a minute. Wait, can I not put it in my pocket? Oh, do I not have enough room in my pocket? I bet I don't. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so we'll intro to Tim, and I might as well just test this. I should have it. Yeah, okay, then. See, so he accepted it. But you can see he got +0. Wait, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah. So Tim's right here. So he got +12 from the intro, and he got 0 from the moon drop. And I believe, so now, if I try and gift him a blueberry, he won't take it, because he's already taken it into his hands. Now, like I said, some characters will for a +0 gift, they won't take it. And so I believe in principle, what I call a weed intro could be done with any item that a character will refuse. And that doesn't matter what and that should cover any item that's a negative affection, which is usually only a couple items. It's usually like weed, fodder. For some of them, it's minerals. Yeah. Now, the other thing that will affect affection is cutscenes. So I will be showing that kind of in the relevant ending tutorial videos, but that's just something to be aware of, that as you go, and they kind of built this in fairly intentionally, obviously. It's a smart idea. As you go through any of the plot lines, any of the ending stories, the NPCs involved usually get additional boosts from those cutscenes, and sometimes the boosts affect characters that are not even involved in the cutscenes. So sometimes it can be fairly random, but all of those boosts are covered in my other paste, which I'll also link. And yeah, so that's there's other things too. I mean, I could go into the details, but I actually have not fully documented it either. Oh no, okay, I remember what I was gonna say. Okay, actually, yeah, I should actually show this. Okay, and this is just sort of a weird. God damn it! What time is it? 10. Okay, I gotta do this on a different day then. Okay. So remember I said that you could only get one conversation boost per day. This is just to demonstrate that that's not exactly true. What day is this? Saturday. Okay. It's not exactly true. Wait, have I? Of course. I haven't introed Lila, so I can't do this. Okay, fair enough. Actually, I wonder if you can. Okay, so I just introed Lila. You can see that she's pacing back and forth. Actually, this might work. You can see she's pacing back and forth, watering her garden. So this is in location. This is not walking, as far as the boost is concerned. Okay, so now she's walking towards the door. If I talk to her, she actually got +2, so it does work even with the intro. Anyway, so you can see this is an exception to the rule, and I don't know all the situations that it applies in, but there are some cases. My notes, for example, for Azure Swallowtail, which is the ending that Lila's involved in, actually does instruct you to do that. On one of the days, you need to do an extra talk to her while she's walking towards the door, and I'll cover that in the video, but I just wanted to show that. So that is, if anybody wants to do some more research in this game and figure out what's the pattern, because sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, but it seems to only work when the second conversation boost is a walking boost, so it's only the +2. Again, that +2 can sometimes make the difference, so we do try and, we would want to take advantage of it if we could, but anyway, okay. That's basic affection. See you in the next video, girls.